My name is Martin. I work with the United Nations Public Information, Department of Public Information. We are about to start the Global Action Hour, where we will be focusing on actions happening all around the world in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals as part of the Global Day of Action. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. How are you? My name is Mitchell Toomey. I'm the director of the UN SDG Action Campaign. It's great to have you all here, and it's also great to have everybody who's here online. Today is the birthday of the SDGs. Let's give a little round of applause for the SDGs. 3 years ago today, on the 25th of September, the SDGs were adopted in that great hall by all the member states of the world. So what we do every year is have a global day of action on this day. So this year we have over 1 million people in over 1,000 cities around the world doing interesting activities. And you're going to hear about some of them. We'll do a kind of a tour of the globe today over the next hour or so. I don't want to take up too much of the time because there's so much cool stuff to talk about, but this global community that's out there, it doesn't just show up here once a year in New York, but people are doing things all over the world year-round. Our job in the SDG Action Campaign is to give that community a voice and channel it into the decision makers who are sitting here. So we do this Day of Action every year, and we invite you to think about how you can join in every year on the 25th and get your community going. We also support the Festival of Action, which is an annual event that we host in Germany. This year's festival will be on the 2nd to 6th of May. So think about joining us. There'll be thousands of people there talking about this very topic and helping each other trade ideas. We also run the SDG Action Awards, which really serves to highlight the great things that people are doing all over the great planet we have year-round to make these SDGs a reality. So while it's great to be here and it's fantastic to be here in New York, we can't let this be the one day of the year where we actually think about this. We need this to be the one day of the year where we bring the community together and talk about this. So just as an example of some of the stuff that's happening, we've got some great high-level advocates who are speaking with us and sending videos. I want to highlight one video that we can send now, and then I'm going to hand it over. Ms. Federica Mogherini, the High Representative of the European Union for Foreign Affairs, has actually put a video together that will say something.
The agenda for sustainable development was never meant to stay on paper. The objective has always been to inspire action, not just from governments and institutions, but from all of us. The most ambitious global agenda ever put together can only take life through simple daily gestures from all of us. This is the meaning of today's action campaign, Global Mobilization. 500,000 people in 1,000 cities all around the world. You are showing how the Sustainable Development Goals have become part of your daily life, and how a small action can contribute to changing the world. For us, for the European Union, the Sustainable Development Goals have become the compass of our foreign policy. In all our new programs and initiatives, we always try to stay true to the Sustainable Development Goals and advance their implementation with every single action we take. But change must come from all of us, individually, in our daily lives, beyond governments and institutions. And this is why I want to thank you for making change happen.
So we've got great support from up high, but we also really want to focus on people who are doing this on the ground. I'm really excited about this, but I'm going to hand it over to someone who's going to be a great facilitator to get us through this hour, this tour around the world. Mr. Yusuf Omar, great the hashtag Our Stories, a social media wizard who's going to be able to take us on this world trip. So thank you very much, Yusuf.
Thank you very much, very much. Hey, everybody. All right, these guys are insane. They've got 15 speakers, they've got 15 videos, they've got 50 minutes, or even a little bit less. We gotta move fast! Massive thank you to Public for having me. Thanks for getting me here. We are talking about goals that are taking place all over the world. We're watching social media timelines. How can you help? You can get involved. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Take a photo, take a video, get your phones out right now. Let's do this. ActForSDGs.org is where you can find a lot of the resources. Act for SDGs is where we can find this amazing map. And the map has heat. And if we go into the heat, we can find all of these amazing actions that are taking place. One of the first actions I want to talk to you guys about first is a journey, the Peace Boat, which started in Japan in September and is traveling all over the world and now is at an event in the Maldives. To talk to us more about it, Yoskihoka Tatsuya, the co-founder and director of Peace Boat.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. I really believe that to achieve the SDGs, we need a passion. So and we try to achieve this goal by the world cruise, educational world cruise. Can you show that the ship? This is our ship. And this ship is a 200-meter, and more than 1,000 people can join. And for 35 years, I'm organized this one together with my friends. So, and every world cruise is 3 months, and visiting more than 20 countries. So in a yearly basis, that is approximately 70 countries we are visiting, and each country we are taking the action for the SDGs. And I would like to introduce one of the example, this one. And in the Maldives, do you know Maldives? Do you know? Beautiful islands, huh? And scuba diving is maybe you never forget about that experience. However, as you know, the climate change is quite terrible situation, and many young people in the Maldives is really worried about their future because their garden or their park or their house is now sinking. So that's why we are trying to do something together with the young people in the Maldives. The organization name is JCI, and together, and nearly 100 people, young people, together with the beach cleaning we did. Beach cleaning is very simple, but at the same time, as you know, now our ocean is really suffered by plastic, as you know. So, and this action is, of course, one of the action is very small, but at the same time, we can make this kind of action to all over the world. So, and now I think we really need a kind of the very concrete visual action to change our direction of our, let's say, civilization. So what is that? That is an eco future, right?
Quick, run.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, I would like to invite you to this most ecological ship.
I am
and
there.
we would like to go around the world and take action for SDGs. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. I can't wait to come.
No, thank you.
Okay, we're jumping from the Maldives. We're now going to Amsterdam to an event that's taking place right today. Jill, get on stage with me. Get on stage. What's going on? Tell me what's happening right now in Amsterdam. Go.
In Amsterdam, over 500 people are gathering together to talk about the SDGs and see how they can foster concrete action on the ground. People from the private sector, people, young entrepreneurs, social innovators, they're all there here in Amsterdam to see what's happening. As you see in the video, they're walking in right now, a few hours ago, and at the moment they're about to close the event. They're talking about what can young entrepreneurs do to really concretely foster the SDGs. And all of that in an innovative setting. This happened today, but the SDG Charter is actually working year-round on how to move concrete actions and how to make an impact in Amsterdam, in Eindhoven, in Rotterdam, basically all over the Netherlands. So if you want to join them, please check out SDG Charter and really make this movement happening. So a big shout out from Amsterdam and keep it up. Woo-hoo!
Thank you so much. We're now heading to the head of the UN's climate change team. Patricia Espinosa has got a quick message for us. Here it is. Boom.
Hello, I am Patricia Espinosa. On this Global Day of Action for the SDGs, I would like to ask you, what is the real potential of the Paris Agreement?
All right, so that's a question that you guys can jump onto Instagram and actually answer at SDG Action. There's a little poll on the stories format. You can go there and check out, and I will be looking at the results a little bit later today. So fill out that questionnaire. Now we move to Italy. We're going all the way to Italy, where a coalition of 200 organizations has been raising awareness for the Sustainable Development Goals on the Global Day of Action. We're going to check out a little video coming to us from Italy. Fantastic. I was once talking to Mitchell, the director, and he said a lot of the solutions that are going to be derived when it comes to the SDGs are going to have an African accent, that the future of the SDGs might have an African accent. And when you look at the map, this is so true. If you look at countries like Nigeria, it is heating up. They've had 220 actions in Nigeria alone. One of those actions, a round of applause for Nigeria, guys. Incredible effort for an incredible country. We're pleased to meet Federica Michael. We first met in Bonn, Germany, the winner of the SDG Action Awards.
I'm so happy to be here today. One of the promises we made to UN SDG Award in Germany in March was we're going to create a movement, we're going to change the world. Our action started on Saturday on the 22nd on campus where we have over 8,000 students in Covenant University. We are gathering students from primary school, from secondary school, from tertiary institutions to create change movement. What are we working on? We're working on goal number 3, health. How we can go kick against drug abuse, not only in Nigeria, but globally. We're doing this through creative and innovation through art, and it's called CCB Art for SDG Solution. Our solution has been developed to actually work for every SDG from 1 to 17. Right now, we're taking action in Nigeria. A movie was produced through our SDG action. It's called Trapped. People are gathered all over, in 500, in 100, watching our movie on how our innovation is actually changing the world in health sector, also in corruption. The strongest impediment to achieving SDGs, not only in Nigeria, but all over the world. We're taking action. Say no to corruption, using our creativity, knock down corruption, and of course, open a new world where me and you can actually live and have a world that is livable, prosperous, peaceful, just, and healthy. Thank you so very much.
Woo! Words to live by, absolutely. I love it, I love it, I love it. We're still sticking around in Nigeria. This time we're heading to an informal settlement where they've taken a bunch of youngsters by the ages of 13 to 18, equipped them with the skills to tell stories using photography. We're going to check out this effort, which is eventually going to become the world's largest photo book.
This is a collaborative project between Canon and Slamat to train 20 young individuals within the ages of 15 to age 19 from 3 different slums. They will receive photography training from local Canon trainers. The goal of this training is to give these young individuals the skills to document critical issues in their local environment. They will be taught the act of visual storytelling to get their voices heard, and most importantly, share solutions to these issues as they see them.
My name is Omar.
Now we're jumping all the way to Brazil, South America. And we're looking at something that doesn't sound all that sexy. We're talking about mangroves. We're looking at how a local environmentalist, a local marine biologist, and the UNDP Rio Center are working together to restore the livelihoods and the sort of areas around these mangroves and why it's so important for that region. Hey guys, by show of hands, how many people would eat a cricket? How many people would eat a cricket? Well, the way the world is going and the shortage of food and the lack of ability for us to all be able to consume beef and all these things that take up a lot of water, we may need to start looking at these kinds of options. If you're hungry, there's an awesome event taking place tonight. It's by celebrity chef Eric Oberholzer, who is the founder of Tender Greens. Check it out. He's going to have crickets there tonight.
Thank you. How you doing? Yeah, tonight at Google here in New York, we are hosting an event in partnership with the Food Forever
initiative, and we have 10 amazing chefs who have been paired up with unusual ingredients at the edge of the food system. And the whole goal is to plant the seed for crop and livestock diversity. And if we use these unusual ingredients, then we have a broader food system to pull from, which means we have better tools to use as the climate changes and we're challenged. And we also have, as chefs, better ingredients to work with. And the goal tonight is to give everybody just a first look, but then to go back to our kitchens, back to our restaurants, back to our audience, and back to our network of chefs and farmers, and scale this through crowdsourcing. So what will happen is 10 chefs becomes 100 chefs, becomes 1,000 chefs, becomes a global movement of chefs pulling from a broad range of ingredients on the edge of food. And like that, everybody in this room is going to have access to more delicious food, more exciting food. And what I'd like to ask everybody is challenge yourself this week to try a new ingredient. It might be a cricket, it might be fonio, it might be breadfruit, but try something and support those who are bringing new diverse ingredients to our world, because it matters. It's going to be a brighter, more flavorful, more interesting and healthier future. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to remind you guys that while the momentum of the SDGs is around the year, the events and goals that you guys are hearing about are happening today. They're happening right now. Over this 24-hour period, there are people doing amazing things all over the world. This is just a small sort of microcosm of what is a much, much bigger effort. We now jump on the map to the Philippines. And when we look at pollution in the oceans, we have to ask ourselves, whose problem is it? Is it local government's problem? Is it the fishermen's problem? At the end of the day, it's going to take everybody to clean up our oceans.
Good afternoon, everyone from the Philippines. This is Becky Malé. We are from the Global Call to Action Against Poverty and the Philippine Rural Reconstruction Movement. We just finished our coastal cleanup, our contribution to climate change mitigation and adaptation. And we are doing this because we want a pollution-free ocean. And of course, we would like to continue to support our sustainable development efforts all over the world, and we'd like to push for the Philippines to continue on working on this, especially mobilizing the CSOs and the social movements and everybody else that need to work together for sustainable development.
Now, there is so many ways that we can share a story. We can share a story in the form of video. We can share a story in the form of photographs. We can do 360 and augmented reality like is taking place in the lobby right now. One of those ways is through music and through song. And I've got the privilege to present to you an original song by the volunteers in Indonesia involving refugees, people from the LGBT and disabled community, a really inclusive piece of music.
Membangun masa depan agar tak ada yang tertinggal di belakang. No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education for everyone. Water and energy, decent work, economic growth with innovation and equality. Wujudkan sustainable cities, be responsive in consumption and reproduction. To the end of climate change, to the life below water and the life on land. Bring peace and justice in this world through partnership for the goal. SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals.
All right. That was amazing, wasn't it? Really, really beautiful music. I'm a journalist, and when I travel the world, people often ask me if the places I go to are dangerous. And one of the barometers of a dangerous area, for me at least, is when I see children, and if they're playing in the streets, and if it looks like a safe, happy community for children to play in. We're now jumping into Facebook, and we found a video from Morocco about an action taking place to create safe spaces for children. All right, now a little bit about how my organization is helping to spread the goals. I'm not Stevie Wonder. These are cameras that I'm wearing on my face. I press this button and I'm taking videos of you. I run an organization called #OurStories. We've been to 40 countries and trained over 200 storytellers around the world to tell stories using their mobile phones. You can find us on Insta at #OurStories. Bicycle initiatives in South Africa, a magic fridge in India. If you click on the top of the page, gender equality in the UK, really looking at solutions, answers. And if you jump to the very top of our page and click on the stories format, I've created a little quiz for you. What does SDG stand for? What does my audience say? We'll tell you in one sec. And what is the deadline? You will find that in my audience, there are people that, 10% of my audience think that it's a sexually transmitted disease, and 20% of my audience think that the goal is going to be reached by 2050. So I've either got really naive friends, or we all need to do a better job of communicating the goals. But that's what #OurStories is trying to do as part of this global effort. Now let's take us to Guatemala and learn that no matter how young you are, age is nothing but a number when it comes to sustainable development goals, how very young people can become involved in promoting the goals.
Esta iniciativa consiste en la elaboración de carteles, de dar charlas, para que sepan que es una buena salud. Los carteles van a tener información de qué es la buena salud, qué se debe comer y qué no, de qué es la comida chatarra y qué son las verduras y toda la comida saludable.
All right, let me introduce you to Carol Arambula. If you look at the map, she's operating with the Mexican region, and they've got some serious heat. They've got a lot going on. She's the founder of My World in Mexico. Tell us about it.
So My World Mexico has been leading lots of activities. We actually, since last year, we established the National SDG Action Week. So we're focusing on telling people about the targets. We're focusing on advocacy. We're focusing on leading youth consultations. We had just 22 for the last week. We had beach cleanups. We had volunteering activities. We had discussions with the governments, especially local governments. And we're basically doing absolutely everything we can. We separated the week into several different subjects, for example. We commemorated the International Day of Peace on the 21st. We participated in the People's Global Summit. We participated in writing stories about different women in Mexico who are leading we're leading different actions in favor of the SDGs. So we're basically doing lots of things with around 700 volunteers across the country who were able to lead so far more than 150 actions. And today we're promoting the My World survey. So we're doing a wonderful job there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Who's from South America in the house? Yeah, one in the back. Welcome to, okay, love it, love it, love it. Because we're now going to Peru. 200 young people all united to tackle the SDGs. Very, very special project. Let's check out this video.
Hola, estamos aquí en Lima, Perú, en la Pontificia Universidad Católica del Perú, en la segunda edición de la conferencia Nosotros las Personas Perú 2030 Actúa por los ODS, un espacio de interacción, de diálogo entre representantes del sector privado, de gobierno, de activistas, representantes de la sociedad civil y personas, donde nosotros hemos revisado las diferentes acciones y experiencias de las personas en estos diferentes sectores que están contribuyendo con alcanzar los objetivos de desarrollo sostenible al 2030. Hemos tenido no solo paneles, sino también talleres donde la gente aprendió a hacer compost casero o de repente a tener una asesoría legal para mujeres emprendedoras. Además de eso hemos tenido unipersonales y la participación de ciudadanos de diferentes lugares. Esta iniciativa la hemos desarrollado en alianza estratégica con el Centro de Asesoría Pastoral y la Dirección Académica de Responsabilidad Social de la Pontificia Universidad Católica del Perú, así como con el apoyo de la empresa Entel y la colaboración de diferentes sectores como de...
So, one of the best ways to create empathy and understanding, I believe, is teleportation. Is to actually teleport somebody into a different environment. And we can do that through travel, but one of the newest ways that we can do that is through virtual reality and 360 video. And you can check out some of the demonstrations of this in the UN lobby as you come through, and also some augmented reality tech with Kristen. They're doing some cool stuff. I want to share with you guys the story of My World 360, which launched in March. It's an amazing initiative. To tell you guys about it, I'm going to introduce Dimitri Moore from Digital Promise, Christina Jackson from Oculus, part of the Facebook suite. Tell us about how you're going to take us to Brazil, Kenya, Germany, the US, right from here in Manhattan, New York City.
You got it. All right, so first of all, isn't it great the rain is applauding all this wonderful action that's happening? I'm Dimitri Moore from Digital Promise Global. This is Christina Jackson from Oculus. We've been partnering together to put 360 technology into the hands of students around the country, and in March we launched My World 360 in partnership with the SDG Action Campaign. We are literally putting 360 photography and video and filmmaking into the hands of students around the world so they can take action on the SDGs, they can spread awareness on the SDGs from their perspective. Here's a quick video showing you how that happens.
If you watch a 360 video, it really catches your emotions and it really affects your thoughts and your feelings.
The focus of our 360 film is basically raising awareness about identity.
I think that a lot of people aren't really aware of the privileges they have, and so it was really interesting to just reflect and to deal with our own privileges and how we feel about them. It was clear that as a whole group we will focus on the topic of reducing inequalities.
In the idea development, we wanted to use an object to mean something else, so the object was a flower.
Identity is something we all have with privileges. I have certain experiences and I would like to raise awareness about certain discriminations.
We spend a lot of time writing a script, drawing storyboards, thinking about how to use this media.
We have never worked with a 360 camera and it's a whole new dimension. So in the film we set several portraits and it was kind of an exhibition.
On every wall there was something to see. That was a very exciting moment, just to see what all this work was for. This really opened my eyes to this new technology and what you can do with it and how you can include the viewer in the scene. 360 is a technology that can bring people and countries closer together.
So that's My World 360. If you go go to the SDG Action Campaign /MyWorld360, you will see resources on how to make your own 360 photo or video, how to take action on the SDGs, spreading your knowledge, inspiring action. And you can see 6 films that we have curated from around the world, from Germany, Brazil, the US, already produced, amazing. They're on our website, SDG Action Campaign /MyWorld360. And for those of you here at the UN, they'll be in the lobby starting at 2 o'clock for you to watch on VR headsets. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I think one of the things I love about how the goals are communicated is that there's something for everybody. There's really low-end data that can be consumed around the SDGs, and there's really sophisticated experiences like that, and together they're a really powerful tool. We're now going to jump into Bonn, Germany. Bonn, Germany, who's been there? Anyone by show of hands? Oh, a bunch of you guys. So you'll know that the campaign have got a big center there in the castle. It's amazing. If you get a chance, check it out. The local municipality actually set up a food fair and a fashion show, and we're going to jump into Twitter now and check out what that looks like.
And now you're going to see a fair fashion show with ecological and fair fashion from stores and my labels here from Bonn.
Nur die Schuhe sind von Bern. Das ist eine Trendfarbe, auch im Hinten aus 100% Baumwolle.
So many young people around the world that I meet want to get involved with the SDGs. They want to help. They are inspired, but they reach a situation where they don't really know what to do with their energy. They don't know how to focus, how they can actually make a difference, how they can actually have an impact. I'm now going to be joined by Solitaire Townsend, the co-founder of Futura, to tell us a little bit about how young people can get involved.
Thank you. Hello. So my name is Solitaire, and I'm here representing the United Nations 10-year framework of programs for sustainable consumption and production. It's a mouthful, so the 10YFP, and also my own agency, Futura. And Futura and the 10YFP today are launching the Good Life Goals. Now, the Good Life Goals are a set of actions that all of us can do, the billions of us around the world, in order to contribute to the SDGs. Because bluntly, people power is as important as powerful people. And the SDGs are not just for institutions, they're for individuals as well. So I just want to show a quick film about that. So these Good Life Goals are live right now. There's 85 of them. That sounds like quite a lot, but there's 5 actions for each of the SDGs. And we've invented a whole little universe of emojis, because emojis are now the global language. And on goodlifegoals.org, or searching for the Good Life Goals online, you can find how to do things such as contribute to SDG 6 around saving water in your own home, to SDG 13 around changing how you eat and how you travel for climate change, tolerance, kindness, raising educational levels, because I will say again, people power is as important as the powerful people here at the UN today, and that together, the billions of us around the world, we really can make tomorrow better than today if we work together. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Making tomorrow better than today is important. All of these goals will help. But what does it all actually mean? What does it all come together to actually produce? How do we universalize this agenda so that by 2020, which is just around the corner, we actually reach our milestones? I'm now joined by Ollie Henman, the Global Coordinator of Action and for Sustainable Development, and one of the organizing partners for the Global Day to Act for SDGs.
Thanks so much, Yusuf, and thank you to so many people who are part of this all around the world, and to all of those that we've been seeing, all of these incredible actions. I think, as you just mentioned, Yusuf, this really is a partnership, and we have been incredibly positive and glad to be able to work with so many local, grassroots, national partners all around the world. This wouldn't have been possible without the kind of collaborative and inclusive process that we designed together. Action for Sustainable Development, where I am, GCAP, many of our national partners, I'm thinking about in India, in Brazil, in Kenya. We've heard so many of the great stories, but in order for this to have that kind of momentum and to have that traction to keep moving, we need to build those networks and to continue to work together at the national level. So from now until next year, we want to get even more people involved. 2019 is going to be an even bigger year here at the UN. As you know, many of the heads of state will be coming back to review the SDGs, so we need to make even more noise. So we had 1 million people involved this time. Let's make it even bigger next year. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Ollie. As you know, none of this is possible without young people. Especially when we look at the emerging markets, we see a gross distortion with far, far, far younger populations than the rest of the world. And it's going to be young people that are going to come up with answers with the resolutions to support young people to be involved in these processes. I want to introduce you to the new class of 2018 UN Young Leaders for Sustainable Development Goals. Just two of them. Please welcome Ezequiel Vedana da Rosa from Brazil and Emily Jezebel Mirage from Spain. Thank you so much.
Hi guys, so me and Ezequiel are the young leader for Sustainable Development Goals. I'm landing from France and I am the co-founder of Aprendices Visuales, where we advocate for children's right to access inclusive education. We developed 20 books and apps with pictograms that are available in 5 languages to teach children's ability in autonomy, social and emotional skills, and they are already used by 1 million children all over the world. So we are, like both of us, an example that youth people can have the power to change the things and the causes that are more, that really means to you. So
yes. Hi, I am Ezequiel, I am from Brazil, and I am the co-founder and the CEO of Pipi. Pipi is a solution to save water in toilets and urinals. Do you know that every 24 hours, more than 15 billion flushes are pressed? And this is more than 100 billion liters spent every day only flushes. And we have developed a biodegradable solution that works specifically on urine. It can remove the smell, changing the color, sanitize the toilets and urinals, and giving a good smell without using water, so eliminating 100% the water usage in urination. So our challenge here is, as a young leader, is to make young people engage to solve the problems that we have today, and make people think different, because we are used to live in the same way all the time. And our challenge here is to make people think different and act.
yeah, I think that we are like the largest generation of young people ever in the history, and these days are a really great time for us to just raise our voice and to say, okay, let's get all together, young people, and just start to do little steps. Can be very local, can be like really easy solution, and you can really make like big changes today. So just let's go, and I invite you to join Youth Leader, when you will find in the website like much more examples that not just for education or just for climate change, but all the SDG goals. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Of course, young people need support. Young people need the infrastructure. Young people need their governments to help them out if they're going to make many of these things a reality. I've said the N-word before on stage. I'm going to say it again. Nigeria is where we're going to next. We're going to the president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, who has a special message for us.
As we mark this 2018 Global Day of Action for the SDGs, I want to join the United Nations SDG Action campaign to call on every citizen, stakeholder, and partner, including civil society organizations, development partners, the private and public sectors, media and academia, to commit to achieving the historic 2030 agenda and the sustainable development goals. As a committed member of the Committee of Nations, the Federal Republic of Nigeria will continue to work with multi-stakeholders, including the United Nations system, civil society, development partners, private sector, and the academia in the implementation of the SDGs.
So, to tell us a little bit about how these top-down leadership structures, like governments, are going to help with leadership on the SDGs, I welcome Cristina Gala, who is the High Commissioner for Agenda 2030 from the government of Spain.
Thank you. Thank you for having me in this super energizing environment, because I come now to the United Nations representing a government. So supposedly I have to be giving more formal speeches and attending very serious events. But the good events are the ones that are being organized here in this tent. So thank you very much for having me back again. Listen, I just want to tell you that in the case of Spain, we have taken the Agenda 2030 so seriously that the Prime Minister, when he was appointed 3 months ago, decided that he wanted a commissioner to oversee the work of every ministry to ensure that it was done online with our objectives, with the goals, and with everything that needs to be done in order to fulfill the agenda. So he offered me the job, and mind you, it is a hard job, but everybody is working even harder than me to make this happen. On top of that, we have the support of a huge number of citizens groups, and they have gotten organized, and they keep pushing us to do things. So on top of what is the legislative processes in the parliament, we have the citizens behind us, and also, as I said, telling where the needs are higher. And where do we have big needs in Spain and also in the European Union? We have big needs, in particular on the environment and climate change. We have huge needs on working hard to offer better jobs for the young people. We have huge needs in equality. You know that the crisis has hit very hard the Western world, and we have huge numbers of unemployment. So all these are our local ambitions for the global goals, and we are determined to make them happen, not only in Spain, because we are deploying our strength in the European Union as well. So thanks for this hugely energizing event, and next year we will be here at the HLPF showing not only our commitment, but our results to be there in 2030. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. A big part of this tent is, for me, actually about communicating what's actually happening on the ground to the guys and women that are in there that may be unfamiliar with grassroots movements, that may be unfamiliar with the efforts and solutions that are playing out on the ground. And we're doing a good job of that. We're creating a lot of noise, and that's what you're seeing on social media timelines. You're seeing so many actions, you're seeing so many stories, and we can all take responsibility for sharing these. We're going to get a quick video now from Amina Mohammed, the UN Deputy Secretary General.
Dear friends, 3 years after the adoption of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, people across the world continue to rally behind the 17 global goals, our blueprint for peace and progress on a healthy planet. I'm truly inspired by the great many organizations and individuals who are standing up today to press world leaders for action. Thank you for your commitment and for your passion. You're leading the transformation that will make the SDGs a reality in everyone's life. I will bring your message straight to the world leaders gathering here in New York at the General Assembly this week. But this will be a long and arduous journey, lasting beyond a single day of action or week of meetings or speeches. The world needs each and every one of you to stay engaged and to forge partnerships at all levels everywhere. I thank the United Nations SDG Action Campaign, the global call to action against poverty, Action for Sustainable Development, and the hundreds of partners who have made today possible and who will make tomorrow better for all. Thank you all very much.
And thank you all very much for taking this hour with us. It's been an amazing voyage. I can't believe we were able to pack all of that into the hour. I'd like to recognize the special senior advisor for the president of Nigeria who's here with us. She was being a great social media activist and everything else. I want to thank the Good Sense team and the producers of this event. Thank you very much. The Public Foundation and others who've been making this tent A, waterproof, and B, with a great sound and audio system that has allowed us this hour. So we're done for the hour, but we're not done with these goals. So let's go out there and change the world. Thank you very much.